So one of the big mistakes that I see guys making when they are curating a nutritional or supplementation protocol is that they tend to jump on the bandwagon of whatever super sexy, super popular supplement or diet happens to be popular at the time. And to some degree, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. One of the great things about social media is that cutting edge ideas and research can kind of make their way into the mainstream consciousness more quickly. However, the downside of this is that sometimes guys will hop on a bandwagon and implement a diet or supplementation strategy that isn't right for them in their specific circumstance. And so what I want to do in this video today is essentially kind of walk through some of the basic needs of the body, as well as some of the more basic and foundational supplementation protocols that you can implement in order to ensure that you're meeting the foundational needs of your body. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, one of the most foundational needs for the human body is vitamins and minerals, which is why the most foundational supplement, at least in my opinion, that any guy could be taking is simply a multivitamin. Now, a vitamin is technically defined as, quote, any of a group of organic compounds which are essential for normal growth and nutrition and are required in small quantities in the diet because they cannot be synthesized by the body. Now, a vitamin can also be described as a nutrient that is needed in small quantities that in its absence a disease state occurs, which is why when you have say a vitamin C deficiency, things like scurvy happen. When you have a vitamin D deficiency, rickets occurs. When you are lacking vitamin B1, there is a disease called beriberi that occurs, and you can also get anemia from a lack of iron or goiters from an iodine deficiency. And these are just a few examples of the disease states that can occur in the absence of various vitamins in the diet. Now, full-blown vitamin deficiencies in the developed world are extremely rare. However, it is far more common to have inadequacies in these various vitamins and minerals that can end up causing things like malice, lack of energy, lack of growth, reduced hormone function, as well as reduced recovery time. And so because of this, unless you are extremely confident that you're meeting your vitamin and mineral requirements from your diet, adding in a multivitamin, at least for a few months in order to help correct some of these inadequacies, can be an extremely good idea for most men. Now, ideally, you would be getting all of the vitamins and minerals that you need on a regular basis from the food that you're eating. However, there are several instances where this just simply isn't practical. For instance, for guys that are just starting out their kind of nutritional journey and paying attention to their diet and aren't specifically in tune with the nutrient intake of their foods and the nutrient content of their foods, it can be a good idea to add a multivitamin until you've kind of curated your diet in such a way as to meet all of your nutrient requirements. And likewise, for guys that are in somewhat of an extreme calorie deficit and are trying to lose as much weight as possible as quickly as possible, it can be helpful to add a multivitamin simply because you're restricting the amount of food that you're consuming. Sometimes it can be difficult to meet the nutrient intake that your body requires in order to stay properly healthy. Now, it is worth noting that if you don't fall into this category and you are confident that you're meeting your nutrient intake through just simple dietary measures, it probably would not be a good idea to add a multivitamin on top of your diet. Over consuming vitamins can be just as detrimental as under consuming various vitamins. And so typically, if you are confident that you have an extremely nutrient-dense diet, targeting specific vitamins and minerals through very specified and targeted supplementation is probably a better bet and is typically what I personally do as well. There are various vitamins and minerals that are a little bit more difficult to attain through dietary means than others, things like various B vitamins as well as the fat-soluble vitamins. And so instead of taking a multivitamin like I used to years ago, I have kind of switched to supplementing with things like beef liver and beef organs, as well as cod liver oil, and even kind of looking at eggs as a supplement because of how nutrient dense they are, and using these food products that are technically food products and looking at them as supplements and using them as supplements to fortify my diet with the nutrients that are kind of more difficult to get through dietary measures is usually a better approach for guys like myself that, again, have a more nutrient dense diet and are just trying to fortify their diet with nutrients that are a little bit more difficult to get. Now, a nutrient rich diet is one example of a short-term action that can pay off huge in the long term. However, taking care of your body isn't the only way to prepare for your future. It's also important to prepare for your financial future as well, and that's why today's video is sponsored by Masterworks Art Investing Platform. Now, it's really incredible what these guys are doing, especially for guys like myself that aren't necessarily experts in investing by any means, but are still trying to properly prepare for our future, especially in today's economic environment. Now, they've been paying out millions in net proceeds for years now, and even recently have paid out returns to the tune of 17%. A lot of that going to guys like myself that don't really know anything about art at all. And what's unique about Masterworks is that you don't need millions of dollars to get started, which until recently was a major limiting factor to investing in art as an asset class. Masterworks has a record of 14 exits thus far, with every single exit delivering a profit for investors. And now, of course, as with any investment, that doesn't automatically guarantee future performance for works not sold, but nonetheless, Masterworks does have a wait list because of demand, and so make sure to check out the link that's in the description down below for special access today. Now, while we're on the topic of vitamins and minerals and meeting your vitamin and mineral intake through supplementation, there is one other supplement that I do believe is worth taking aside from a multivitamin, and that is magnesium. Now, the reason for this is that even if you are taking a multivitamin, typically there's absolutely no magnesium in a multivitamin, and if there is, it's negligible at best. And the reason for this is that your body requires upwards of 400 milligrams of magnesium per day, which is just impractical for supplement companies to put into a multivitamin. And so, again, even if you are taking a multivitamin, it can be a fantastic idea to add in a magnesium supplement on top of the multivitamin in order to help meet your basic magnesium needs. Now, even after you remove a multivitamin from your diet and kind of change your diet to be a more nutrient-dense diet, continuing a magnesium supplement can still be a fantastic idea and is one of the only supplements that I continue to take every single day. And the reason for that is that it's fairly difficult to meet your magnesium needs through food consumption. Now, there are several reasons for this. However, I think one of the biggest reasons for this is that the magnesium that is found in plant foods is not very bioavailable at all. And then the only appreciable source of magnesium from animal products is through fish. And so unless you're consuming large quantities of fish, you're likely not meeting your magnesium needs, and has led me to believe that that one of the historically the most important ways that humans have consumed magnesium is through simply consuming magnesium-rich spring waters. Now, it's fairly impractical for guys nowadays to almost exclusively consume magnesium-rich spring waters, one, because it's extremely expensive, and two, because it's just hard to find. And so I'm a huge fan of consuming magnesium as a liquid form and introducing it into your water supply. Say you're drinking a gallon a day, supplementing with a liquid magnesium supplement through that gallon of water throughout the day can be a fantastic way to help meet your magnesium needs. Now, one of the primary benefits of this is that, one, liquid magnesium appears to be fairly bioavailable, especially when compared to food sources of magnesium, as well as compared to other powdered forms of magnesium supplementation. And then two, there is some evidence to suggest that consuming magnesium throughout the day, as opposed to just one bolus of magnesium in the evening time, can also increase absorption of magnesium. And so finding a good magnesium magnesium supplement and introducing it into your water can be a fantastic way, even after you've removed a multivitamin from your diet, and even after you've fortified your diet with other nutrient-dense foods. A magnesium supplement is just kind of one of the foundational supplements, in my opinion. Now, the next supplement that I would consider a foundational supplement that, again, isn't super necessary but can provide a massive benefit, especially to guys that are strength training and are trying to put on muscle mass, is just a whey protein supplement. Now, the reason that I would consider a protein supplement to be an essential or foundational supplement is because protein technically is an essential nutrient. Yes, vitamins and minerals are essential nutrients that your body needs. However, protein is also an essential nutrient. There's some argument as to how many amino acids are essential. However, there are several amino acids that are essential to the human body that cannot be created, that are required from the diet. And when you do not consume these in adequate amounts, various disease forms can also pop up. However, they're extremely rare in the developed world, but nonetheless, if you're not consuming enough protein, yes, muscle mass will be hindered, but there are a host of other health effects from not consuming enough protein. Now, again, ideally, you would like to tailor your diet in order to meet your protein needs through food exclusively. However, there is a strong argument to be made that things like whey protein specifically aren't actually a supplement. Whey protein technically isn't any more of a supplement than cheese is. Whey protein is simply the byproduct of cheese production, and so technically whey protein isn't even a supplement. It is a food product that has been dried, powdered, and then put into a supplement bottle. So I'm a fairly big fan of consuming whey protein as a means to increase dietary protein intake. And another reason for that is because it is extremely economical. It's extremely financially economical as well as calorically economical. The same amount of protein that you would get from just one scoop of whey protein is going to be cheaper and is going to have less calories when compared to pretty much any other food. And so if you're looking for something in order to increase your dietary protein intake for increased muscle mass, improved neurotransmitter production, improved hormone function, improved recovery and healing times, a whey protein shake can be a fantastic way to help accomplish this. Now, there are other protein supplements aside from whey protein, things like egg protein isolate, beef protein isolate, casein protein, as well as collagen protein, which I'm actually a pretty big fan of, especially if you're not getting a lot of bone broth in your diet and connective tissues from the meats that you're consuming. Adding in a collagen supplement can be a great way to increase the intake of the amino acids glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline that are uniquely found in collagen. And so for most guys, simply just adding in a whey protein supplement is going to be a great option to help increase amino acid intake and improve muscular recovery. However, adding in a collagen supplement can also provide some kind of unique benefits from those specific amino acids that are uniquely found in collagen. Now, aside from a multivitamin, magnesium, and protein, the last foundational supplement that I want to include in this list is fish oil. And the reason for that is because of the extremely high EPA and DHA content that is found in fish oil. Now, the omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, are technically essential dietary fatty acids. You've got essential nutrients such as vitamins and minerals, essential amino acids, but you also have essential fatty acids, which would include things like ALA, EPA, and DHA. Now, technically, ALA is the only quote-unquote essential fatty acid because your body cannot make ALA and can convert ALA into EPA and DHA. However, EPA and DHA is what your body actually needs, so I think this is a slight misnomer in the technical terminology. And so in order to meet your EPA and DHA needs, you either one, have to consume enough ALA that can convert into EPA and DHA, or just simply consume enough EPA and DHA. Now, the issue with this is that your body is extremely bad at converting ALA into EPA and DHA, and so there is an argument to be made that in order to properly meet your omega-3 fatty acid needs that you have to consume EPA and DHA. And this is why I'm such a big fan of consuming fish oil. It's extremely high in these omega-3 fatty acids. And then another reason I think it's so important to actually supplement with an omega-3 fatty acid is that the consumption of omega-6 fatty acids actually antagonize the action of omega-3 fatty acids. And there are a host of health benefits, including cognition and mood and general inflammation, that come from higher intakes of omega-3 fatty acids that are actually antagonized by the consumption of omega-6 fatty acids. So you either, one, need to drastically lower your omega-6 fatty acid intake or dramatically increase your omega-3 intake, or just do what's best and do both of those. Decrease your omega-6 intake as well as increase your omega-3 intake. Now, the only appreciable way to consume adequate amounts of EPA and DHA is to either, one, eat fish, or two, eat animal brain. And because both of those have kind of their drawbacks when it comes to the contamination that fish have, or just the unavailability of consuming animal brains, one of the most practical ways to increase your omega-3 intake is just to simply take an omega-3 supplement. Now, because omega-3 fatty acids are so unstable as a molecule, it is fairly important to find a manufacturer that is properly manufacturing the fish oil so it's not losing its potency and being denatured during the process of manufacturing. And now there are a handful of brands that are doing a really good job at doing this, and even still there may be some degradation, but at the end of the day, an omega-3 fatty acid supplement appears to be the cleanest way to increase your omega-3 fatty acid content in your diet. But I hope that helps, guys. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. I take a super deep dive into this topic of supplementation in my complete guide to supplementation, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. But other than that, I think I will see you guys next time.